host, Janelle Clark. We are on episode 5. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic start to your week. Welcome to Get This Cake podcast. So this week we have an extra special guest.
Hi.
It's Marcos.
Hi. How y'all doing?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So Marcos is literally like, if you guys already know from like, you should just know by now from like
Yeah,
Instagram,
pretty much.
TikTok. This is my child. This is my husband. This is my life partner.
I am
my
also.
guardian angel.
I'm
This is
also.
my
I'm also the mother as well, and the daughter on occasionally.
Bitch, I'm a mother.
No drama. So if that's not the perfect start to understanding what our relationship is, I do not know what will be.
I don't know how I haven't had you on the show before. Like, I can't believe this is your first time being on the show. And, like, thank you for doing this episode with me.
Thank
I
you.
love you.
I'm glad. I'm really happy to be here.
In your own living room.
In my own living
You're
room.
happy to be in your own house.
In my own house, baby.
But Marcos, tell me a little bit about yourself for our audience who may not know you, and how did we meet?
Okay, honey. So here's the tea. I was born in Cuba, in Havana. Lived there for 12 years before I ended up moving to Toronto. Lived there for 8 months. Then moved to Halifax, where I had my teenage years. And then I moved back to Toronto for university, and I graduated, and now we're here.
Yeah. So I met Marcos in Halifax. We were in high school at the time, and the start of our friendship was a little rough, actually. But
She says it's a little rough, but it's kind of a funny story, actually.
It has evolved, and now I don't know what I would do without you.
Yes, I don't know what I would do without you either. We've been
High five me.
Oh
shit!
the mic. If that doesn't explain our relationship pretty well, I don't know what will.
But yeah, so I was, so I'm a little bit older than Marcos, and I met him when I was in grade 12. He was in grade 11. The very first, okay, so we had 2 moments where I was like, I don't know if we're going to recover from this. The first one was basically I used to compete as a bikini competitor, and he came up to me. We met through mutual friends. He says, I really want to be fit. I want to have this body.
I said I want to look like you, Janelle.
And so I, being like, I need things to be exact and precise, and I don't have to ask anything. I went home, I researched the fuck out of a male meal plan, his macros, his fats and calories.
The everything.
I mean, I tried my best to give him variety for like his meal choices, and this was at a time before Marcos could cook.
She failed. The meal varieties, it was a failure. I swear, I cooked one of the meatloaf recipes she gave me, and my mom thought something died in the kitchen.
I tried. I honestly did try. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into this meal plan, and the next day, I gave him a paper copy and a fucking email. And the next day in the cafeteria, this kid has what?
McDonald's, baby. Them chicken nuggies. Actually, I think it was Thai chicken that I got.
Yeah, I think it was. I actually remember that. I looked at your wrap and I was like, what is this?
She went through the garbage. Okay, she didn't go through the garbage at school, but she was about to be like, she pulled up the receipt and saw my credit card info.
And we had a little, a
little
moment.
falling out after that.
And then after grad, so my friend group is pretty scattered. So even to this day, I'm either friends with people that are way older than me or younger than me. And I had, through his mutual friends, some people that graduated the year after me, and I wanted to give them the gift of hosting their grad party.
Yeah.
And what evolved from that is a lot of people then kind of knew me as the girl that was 19. And in Canada, 19 is the drinking age unless you're in Quebec.
She was our run girl, actually. So if I ever needed any liquor, I could always hit up Janelle.
I hope no cops are listening to this. But yes, that is a fact. And I always, I had my, out of a friend group, first one to have my own apartment and a place to crash before going out downtown.
Oh, Lord. This is the story we're getting
party
to.
house. And So our second follow-up, Marcos, would you like to tell the story on this one?
Nope. Janelle, take over, please.
Okay. So I like to be a good host and a good guest, and I like to make sure that experience for both people is great. So I made about 300 gummy bear shots of tequila and vodka, and it got everyone in my house intoxicated.
Girl, we was bugged. Oh Lord, it was bugged.
And then you being on like a different dimension, I got pissed because you decided now is the time for me to go to the club as the after party from my house. I mean, mind you, I was like, we were both so immature. Like I was 19. I was 20.
You were 20. I wasn't 19. I was 18 at the time.
Shit, that's right. Wow, I'm bad.
Yeah.
I'm a bad influence, guys. Oh my god.
You're a bad mother.
No
All the drama. So after being fed, I'll take over.
Yeah, okay.
After being fed all these fucking tequila shots, I rally the troops and I'm like, all right, guys, let's go to the dome. And so I pretty much steal her party away, and on the way to the club, I'm talking to someone. And I didn't see that there was a giant fucking concrete pole on the way. And I hit my face in it and I completely busted. I'm talking like there is blood coming, and I look like
I don't know how you did that.
I look like John Wick after like episode 1 of like just fighting and shit. And so like it was all bloodied, and then I get to the club.
They didn't let you in.
But the funniest thing is that they looked at my fake ID and they were like, yeah, okay, the fake ID checks out. But then they looked at my face and they were like, nah, man, you go home.
Go home.
And at this point, I didn't even question it. I was so drunk that I went and I got myself a nice little poutine from Smokes.
From Willie's. Yeah.
From Willie's.
Smokes,
It was from
yeah.
Willie's. And then I went back to Janelle's house.
And my roommate to this day does not know this, but I trying to be the best mother and friend that I could, put you in her bed, tucked you in, and then you puked all over her sheets. Actually, you know what? You know what's one part of the story, and I don't even know if I told you about this, but
What?
I didn't know that you puked until like a couple weeks she got home. Because I had the house to myself. And then September came around. That's when everyone returns home for university. And she goes, Janelle, why is there puke in my sheets? I don't think I ever...
No, I didn't. To the roommate, if you're listening, I'd like to sincerely apologize.
I would like to sincerely apologize too. So yeah, and then we just kind of like drifted. I like ended up in a terrible relationship, a dead-end job, and you moved to Toronto to go to U of T.
Yeah.
I think your brother was already here, right?
He was.
Yeah.
He's the one who kind of got me into it.
Yeah.
So.
And then, yeah, we just started to live our own, like, separate lives for a little bit. But so obviously you had more experience living in the city than I did. What were some of...
Yes.
Yes. I feel like I still am trying to adjust because my whole time has been during COVID. But like...
Ew, COVID.
Ew, David.
So-
Schitt's Creek reference.
Love that show.
What was like from living in such a small, like, I mean, teeny tiny little town that wants to be a city to like this massive place that you were acquainted with for a little bit as a kid, because you moved here for a few months before you actually went to Halifax.
Yeah.
What was your experience moving back here?
Oh, it was amazing, honestly. There was just the fact that there was so much to do in the city. It was, there was choice, basically.
Yeah.
In Halifax, if you want to go out on, let's say, a Tuesday or a Wednesday night, you can't. There is nothing going on. Sure, you can go grab yourself like a nice dinner and wine, but aside from that, no. Here in Toronto, it's completely the opposite. There is always things to do, and it's right there just waiting to be seized. And people to meet as well, right?
Yeah.
And there is just community there, just waiting to be seized, right? Well, in Halifax, it's stale. It's the way that I think about it, right?
Yeah. I definitely see that personally. I'm starting to recognize that as well. Obviously, like, I was here for a few times just for travel and for work before I made the decision to move last year. But with that being said, I think one of the things I miss the most about home is the hospitality and how nice people are.
That
like,
is true.
there was something that happened, and I can't remember, I might have mentioned this briefly in like the first episode, but there was something that happened when I first moved here. The people I was living with at the time tried to show me my new neighborhood, and they said, Janelle, you're doing something that's really fucking weird. And I was like, what is that? And they're like, well, when you walk past people, you kind of nod your head and smile and you acknowledge them.
That's kind of sus, bro.
It is a little sus.
Nah.
But like, it's sus now because this population of the city's completely, like, it's massive compared to Halifax, and you don't want to be friendly with strangers in that way here. I feel like it's like a safety issue. Like, as a girl, like, I could walk around at night in Halifax, and like here, I am not going to be caught dead on the fucking subway without my headphones in. You know what I mean? But yeah, like, when you first moved here, you were a server, right?
Oh, baby. The service industry.
Oof! I bet you get to see everything.
Everything, I swear. But the best thing about it was definitely like the parties and just getting to know all the promoters and things like that. Because eventually, after you work in a place for so long, you kind of start to see the regulars, and you kind of get to be acquainted with the businesses that are next to you. Because I used to. Reason why I say this is because I used to work at Oretta, and it was right next to one of the biggest clubs in Toronto called EFS.
So sketchy, though.
So sketchy.
So sketchy, but it's big, yeah. And I know, like, so when I first moved here, I worked in the hospitality industry as well. In fact, actually, our places of employment were right down the street from each other. And, dude, you literally, like, I mean, there's some pussy power in the night scene here.
Yes, there is.
You literally can, like, if you're a girl, you can get into any club, any facility. And I didn't have that experience back home. I used to have to pay for shit unless you were a server. Yeah. Like, okay, for example, and another thing I just want to say is there's things to do every single night.
Yeah.
There's day and night. There's something to do.
Mm-hmm.
Back home, it's like, all right, buddy, it's a fucking snowstorm.
Better stay home at that point.
Better stay home and drink a beer.
Yeah. Like, because the buses are not running and all public transportation in Halifax just goes, I'm a head out. That was not scripted. That was completely improvised. Let the record state.
But yeah, I had this moment. I had this experience. So here, if you're a server, you're in the inn. Yes. You're in the inn, right? And you kind of have a similar experience in Halifax. So like we had this thing. It was for industries. Industry night, basically. So if you bring your paycheck, if you're a bartender, server, waiter, doesn't matter, host, you bring your paycheck, you could go to any bar that required you to have cover. You get it for free.
And skip the line.
And that's pretty much as best as it would get because nothing else kind of exciting happens. Whereas in Toronto, you wouldn't get bar staff. You just, once you're in the industry, you know how to get in. Mm-hmm. And that comes to such a great advantage with like our hip hop scene. Yeah. You know, I know The Weeknd and Nav used to go to Lost and Found. And they could show up on a random Monday. They wouldn't even be announced, right? Like they could just show up. It's been a very, very long time since I think Drake has been seen like in a club here. I mean, without massive security, but I mean, I'm sure people have seen like the Raptors or whatnot. Actually, I remember last year I was in Lost and Found and the club itself reposted a photo of me and like my promoter friends that were with me and standing in front, you see me in the background of the photo, I look phased, I'm drunk as fuck. I look phased, but in front of me is like one of the Blue Jay players and I didn't even fucking know he was there. But back home, I had this incident with a friend where it was our work Christmas party, and after the Christmas party, we went out to Argyle Street, which is the only street in the city of Halifax with bars.
It's pretty sad.
So the options were limited, and we're waiting in line because you have to wait in line. And it was like minus 30. We have our fur coats on, high heels, we're cold. The guy behind me starts to puke too much because liquor back there is very cheap. You can get like a shot for $3. And I like moved ahead because I'm not trying to get puked on, right?
Mhm.
I'm looking too good to get puked on. Not my vibe.
And what she didn't know is that guy was Marcos in disguise. Looking to take his revenge. It wasn't me, but
and manager was like, excuse me, miss, you skipped the line. You can't enter our establishment. I said, pussy is power. This is not how you run a bar. And so, like, it just made me really realize, like, the population there is so small that it doesn't matter if you're a guy or girl, whereas I feel like girls definitely have more advantage here because
100%.
they need women like in the businesses and in the industries. And another thing that I was so jealous of was even though we didn't talk for quite a bit because we had different lives before I moved here, I did know you were going to like concerts, and
Yes.
I need to know your experience.
Well, it was pretty fun. I mean, the thing about it is that I could have actually gone to a lot more had I had the money for it, but it's just the fact that you have the option. Like, I remember this because I got drunk with one of my buddies, and he was just like, "Yeah, man, Dua Lipa is coming next week," and I was like, "Oh, no way! How much are her tickets?" He's like, $40. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll go with you." And that's it. He bought me a ticket and we went to the Dua Lipa concert and we had an amazing time. And it was as simple as that.
Oh my God.
It's the fact that it's just there waiting to be seized,
It's
right?
so sad because I think Travis Scott was supposed to come to Halifax and then he fucking canceled. I think he was high when he made the decision and then looked at it on a map and said,
"Oh yeah, Halifax, that name's pretty cool. What's the city like?" Never mind.
There's lobster, there's beer, and that's it.
2 lobsters lost in a concrete jungle.
That's us.
That is us right
That
there.
is us.
And I'm allergic to lobsters, so you already know how it be.
But when you're an ocean boy, you grew up in Cuba.
That's true.
Yeah.
I did grow up next to the ocean.
Yeah, that's another. Oh my God, I even forgot to tell you. Like, I'm so scared to eat seafood here, just because the only thing that there's like we have the Great Lakes, but I mean,
Or according.
So gross. I just like I'm so used to having like the ocean as my backyard, and like my like uncles would like go like fishing for lobster and it would be fresh, and like you can't have that here. Like
No.
not in this concrete jungle. It's like good fucking luck. Like the sushi here is so bad. I don't know. You can't really eat sushi
No,
though, right?
I really can't. No, with shellfish allergy.
That would kill you. I'm not trying to kill you like my meatloaf.
Fuck, not again.
But how? Okay, so the thing is, we're so close now, and like I said, we weren't always this close. But Marcos, do you want to tell our audience how we reconnected?
Thank you, Instagram, for this, by the way, because it's one of the good things about social media is that you get to keep up with people that you haven't seen in quite a while.
So I thought I was ignoring you.
But this is actually hilarious because I messaged her, Janelle, on Facebook about like 6, maybe 8 times, and I was getting pissed off because I saw that the messages were delivered and they were unread. Until I found out after we reconnected is that Janelle deleted her Facebook like 6 years ago.
Yeah, don't ever try to search me up on Facebook. I haven't had Facebook since like 2011, 2012.
So that's absolutely hilarious.
Unless you want to see photos of me as a 14-year-old dorky teenager, good luck. Like, it's probably still there, but like...
She had bangs, so...
Oh, I know. I cut my own bangs. Haha. Oops.
But back to the story about how we reconnected was that I saw her just randomly posting on Toronto with the location tag, and I was like, hey, are you back? Or are you like visiting? And it turned out that she had moved here, so we set up a nice little coffee date. And we had like a little like a cheering and screaming in the Spadina streetcar.
Not anything out of the ordinary for Spadina streetcars anyways.
Nope,
but...
not at all. At least it was wholesome, this one.
Yes. And I'm a crackhead. If you come here and you come to visit, please do not ever go to Queen Spadina McDonald's. But anyways,
God, no.
Don't even go near Spadina. But like,
yeah.
It's just a no. But yeah, we reconnected as if it was like yesterday. Obviously, with way more maturity, you've found a partner.
Yeah.
I still don't because dating in the city sucks.
I've been cuffed up for 2 years now.
You have
2 years and a half, I think.
And you graduated at this point.
Ooh.
And congratulations! And he's smart.
And I'm smart too.
And I was getting ready, like I had to go back for a little bit, and then I came back here, and I really needed a new place to live, and so did he. And that's when I also realized, holy shit, the difference of like living expenses. Because like, I don't know about you, and you lived at home. I didn't.
Yeah.
I moved out when I was 18 in Halifax, and I remember.
Well, so did I though.
But in the city, not in Halifax,
True,
right?
true.
So in Halifax, I had like, and this wasn't like a bad house. It was a really nice house, and I lived with a couple of girls. $575 Canadian dollars, all utilities paid for, and it was right downtown on Oxford Street. And here, we don't fucking even live downtown.
We live,
and we pay
$1,000 each plus utilities.
2,000
plus
1,000
utilities.
each, plus utilities, plus internet, plus food. But at least groceries are way cheaper here.
Yes, that they are.
Produce is definitely way cheaper here. Transportation is not, but transportation is better.
That's a fact.
It took me a long time to get used to it because, like I said, I moved here during COVID, but like I used to get lost a lot.
And I am honestly kind of envious of her for getting lost, because it's when you move to a big city, it's such a wonderful feeling of not really like getting lost in the fact that you're like, oh no, where am I gonna go? Because that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But it's more of the fact of looking at the big buildings and being able to actually be like, oh wow, I don't know where I am. And it's kind of cool because in Halifax, all you gotta do is turn 2 street corners and you're in Quinpool, right?
Yeah, I know.
Like it's
pretty much. And there isn't like repetitive names or anything like that. Like there was no subway, there was no streetcar, street trolley, there was a bus, shitty. What?
Did you just call it a trolley?
Yeah.
What is this, Harry Potter? Take some candy from the trolley, please. Except if it's the Spadina streetcar or the Spadina trolley, it'll probably be drugs.
Actual facts. But there was none of that. There was like literally a bus that would run like every like half hour. Only if it wanted to, and Halifax gets like a lot of hurricanes. I'm a hurricane survivor, dude. Like literally every fall was a hurricane. And blizzards. So like the moment there would be like too much snow or like rain or wind, they would just like take the buses off the streets and you just had to like fend for yourself. Whereas like here, there is like actual good transportation. Now, like I said, I used to get lost all the time. And I'm going to explain this. I used to get lost all the time. At least there was Uber. Uber is in every major city, and Lyft. But Uber only arrived to Halifax in December?
In December.
Of 2020.
Like last month.
You went back home.
And I took an Uber.
And you took an Uber for the first time. I was so jealous.
It was glorious.
I was so jealous. Just quick little note on that. Like literally it was so bad because the nightlife would stay open later in the Maritimes because there's nothing else to do. So the clubs would be open till 4, but then you have to go find the one and only pizza shop that's open and try to hail down a taxi in like these minus temperatures.
And good luck with that.
It was so ridiculous. Whereas here, clubs are only open till 2, but food is open late, which is great. But at least there was fucking Uber.
Yes.
And that really saved. Obviously, I had to figure out the transit system very quickly when I moved here because I was spending so much money on just not feeling comfortable enough to venture out on my own. I was spending a lot of money on Uber and Lyfts. But let me tell you something about Toronto, guys. There is a lot of Yorks.
There is
a lot of Yorks. There is Yorkville, Yorkdale, North York,
East York.
Is there a West York?
I don't know. I think we're making that up, honestly.
No, there is a East York.
There is a East York.
That's where the lake is, right? We don't really live in East York. And I feel like there's another, is there York Street?
I think there's a York region.
York region.
That sounds accurate.
Yes. Okay. So there's a York region, which is like its own entity. It's its own city. It's its own area. North York is still part of Toronto, but it's in the greater Toronto area.
Yes.
Yorkville is like, I think you used to live in that area.
I did. It's the bougie part of town.
Yeah, it's the bougie part of town. Bougie bitch.
Ooh, can't afford it.
I think like Drake eats there. He can be spotted at a restaurant there. There's Gucci, Louis, etc. And then Yorkdale is a mall. And then East York is just the east side of Toronto, but it's not its own area.
Yes.
Did I get that? Did I nail that?
I have no idea, honestly.
No,
I failed geography, so.
So there's so many, like, and then there's like Queen West and Queen East and Dufferin West,
Dufferin West,
yes,
Dufferin Mall,
Dundas.
Dufferin Station.
I know, the list just like they got really bored. They just named everything the same thing.
They just recycled it, right?
They really did recycle it, and that took me a long time to get used to. I felt better once we moved in together.
Because I guided you.
You did guide me, and I had like no choice but to like start to rely on transit because living expenses so much. I love living with you.
I love living with you too.
I love living with you. I'm not gonna hug you because I don't want to knock over the mic again.
There's a phrase in Spanish. It's called lazarillo, which basically means a guide person for people who are blind. So that's what I was for.
It's the blind leading the blind. Who are you trying to kid?
Okay, I know my Toronto streets and my Toronto addresses.
Okay.
But when we reconnected, you ended up couch surfing with me for like a month before we ended up finding an apartment.
Yeah.
And that was honestly a lot of fun.
That was really fun, and it gave us a little bit of a highlight of what our life is together now. I mean, like I said, we're both from the Maritime, so we're very like in hospitality, and we love people. So you come over anytime, we'll cook for you. You will come in our house. There's a stripper pole. If you want a little fitness, we have a bar. You need vodka, baby, we got it.
We gotta buy more vodka, by the way.
Sometimes that's my fault. Sometimes when I like need makeup, Marcos,
if you take my eyelashes one more fucking time, I swear to God, there's gonna be problems in this household. This is the only house in which a girl can text the guy in the house and say, "Hey, can I borrow your fake eyelashes for the night?"
I actually did that. You did? I did that for New Year's Eve. I said, "Hi, hope you're having a fun time on your holiday. Can I borrow your eyelashes?"
And of course, I obliged.
I know.
And then she borrowed the eyelash glue as well.
But I did. Actually, no. I had my own eyelash glue, but I had to borrow your lashes because mine were looking a little ratchet. But, and if you guys want to know, if you see the cover art for the podcast, you see my red heels. Yeah.
Those are mine.
We're both a size 8. It
Yes.
works. It still works.
The reason why I own heels is because I actually used to do a lot of dancing pre-COVID days. So I used to be I used to be a high heels dancer.
Yeah, and you recently, so you went home for the Christmas break back to Halifax. That seemed like that was a good time. And a mutual friend of ours put you in drag.
He did.
Right.
Thank you, Connor. Or Vanity Station, as she likes to be called.
Check her out, guys, on Instagram. But one thing I realized, and I have so much fun with this, is I'm really happy you did go into drag. And when COVID does kind of like dials down, we get vaccinated and things start to open up again, I would love to actually see you perform because there's more opportunities here, right?
It is, there's a lot more opportunities here. I mean, like Cruise and Tangos, I'm pretty sure does an amateur night every once in a while, right? And I never knew how much work it was to get into drag because to get my face painted, that took a solid 6 hours.
Yes, it is. I mean, I used to act and I did a course at Dell for theater makeup, and drag makeup is definitely its own category, and it takes so much time and so much skill. But yeah, I mean, bitch, it is such a hard thing for me to do. Even I have to do my makeup now for TikToks because I recently got into those. But the effort. Mm-hmm. Literally, I don't care if you're a guy or girl, if you see anyone with makeup on, fucking compliment them. Yes. It is so much hard work. It is an art.
It is a
freaking art. But it was really cool. We like to watch RuPaul's Drag Race together. And Toronto actually has its own version, Canada's Drag Race.
Woo!
With who's the host judge again?
What's her name? She had COVID recently. Fuck. She's tall and a ballet dancer. What's her name?
Brooklyn Heights.
Brooklyn Heights. That's it. Brooklyn Heights.
Wow.
I hope you got better from COVID, by the way.
We're the worst gays, girls, and theys, but
I'm a gamer gay.
Yes, so you are a gamer gay.
You should know this by now. You lived with me for a month in my house, and I think that one of the things that I most look memorably on was you watching TikToks in my bed while I played video games right next to you.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's how we bond.
That is how we bond.
I'll be in your bed watching TikToks or watching Instagram stories, and you're playing League of Legends, and we're both sipping wine.
Exactly. I'll be like getting drunk and losing the game and like smashing my desk, and Janelle will be. She was concerned at first, but now she's just used to it. She's like, "Oh, he's losing. Oh, whatever."
I sometimes try my best to like tear him away from his video games, so like we can like eat dinner or like watch Sex in the City together. But I know that's your safe space.
It is also Sex and the Six. That's our life.
Sex and the Six.
That's our lifestyle right now.
Sex and the Six. Oh my god. We should do a show, Sex and the Six, and like recast it. That'd be so much fun.
That would be. Oh my god. Okay, here's my casting.
Okay.
Chromaz. Chromaz, Chair Girl, Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez, Mr. Big. Oh, that would be absolutely hilarious.
That'd be so funny. Yeah.
But yeah, this city has been honestly like amazing for me. It's probably been one of the best moves that I've had. That's not to say that Halifax doesn't have its perks though.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm still trying to adjust. Like, home is still home, and I do get, like, really homesick sometimes. But I know I'm very fortunate for this chapter in my life because it's grown me into the woman that I am now. And I'm very thankful that I do get to share it with you because we can lean on each other and, like, be able to reflect on like those similar experiences. We have those experiences that we can relate to, and we really have. And we've grown up so much since when we first met. Would you ever move back though?
I mean, I debated it for quite a bit actually in the last like around September when COVID started getting really bad, and I got let go from my fourth job this year because being a server in a pandemic was not fun.
Yeah.
And while I was in Halifax, everything just seemed to be so easy, right?
Yeah.
So stress free. But then when I got back here, I kind of realized that that's not my life. My life is here in Toronto. I have a beautiful boyfriend. I have a beautiful roommate named Janelle. And it's just, my future is here in Toronto. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, baby. Oh, give me a hug. Oh. Period.
No drama.
Just a little drama.
Just
We're
a
both
little.
dramatic.
Yeah. Oh fuck. y'all have no idea. Every time, I don't know. Janelle will say some things like, "Baby, I have the hottest tea that you have ever sipped in your entire life."
And then it won't be.
And then it'll be like, "Oh yeah, I did a photo shoot with my girlfriends last night," and I'll be like, "Oh, that's cool." But like, it's the hottest tea I'll ever have in my entire life. Like, girl.
Well, I hope you guys have a really great rest of your week. I'm sure you'll hear from Marcos again later on in the season, if not for season 2.
I'm sure so too.
I'm sure. We love to have tea and we love cake. And remember, guys, you can have your cake and you can eat it too. Yes, so you are a gamer gay.
You should know this by now. You lived with me for a month in my house, and I think that one of the things that I most look memorably on was you watching TikToks in my bed while I played video games right next to you.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's how we bond.
That is how we bond.
I'll be in your bed watching TikToks or watching Instagram stories, and you're playing League of Legends, and we're both sipping wine.
Exactly. I'll be like getting drunk and losing the game and like smashing my desk, and Janelle will be. She was concerned at first, but now she's just used to it. She's like, "Oh, he's losing. Oh, whatever."
I sometimes try my best to like tear him away from his video games, so like we can like eat dinner or like watch Sex in the City together. But I know that's your safe space.
It is also Sex and the Six. That's our life.
Sex and the Six.
That's our lifestyle right now.
Sex and the Six. Oh my god. We should do a show, Sex and the Six, and like recast it. That'd be so much fun.
That would be. Oh my god. Okay, here's my casting.
Okay.
Chromas.
Ew!
Chromas,
Canceled.
Chair Girl, Tory Lanez.
Tory Lanez,
Mr. Big. Oh, that would be
Oh my
absolutely
God,
hilarious.
That would be so funny. Yeah.
But yeah, this city has been honestly like amazing for me. It's probably been one of the best moves that I've had. That's not to say that Halifax doesn't have its perks, though.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm still trying to adjust. Like, home is still home, and I do get like really homesick sometimes. But I know I'm very fortunate for this chapter in my life because it's grown me into the woman that I am now. And I'm very thankful that I do get to share it with you because we can lean on each other and like be able to reflect on like those similar experiences. We have those experiences that we can relate to,
and we really have.
And we've grown up so much since when we first met. Would you ever move back though?
I mean, I debated it for quite a bit actually in the last like around September when COVID started getting really bad, and I got let go from my 4th job this year because being a server in a pandemic was not fun.
Yeah.
And while I was in Halifax, everything just seemed to be so easy, right?
Yeah.
So stress-free. But then when I got back here, I kind of realized that that's not my life. My life is here in Toronto. I have a beautiful boyfriend. I have a beautiful roommate named Janelle. And it's just my future is here in Toronto. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, baby. Oh, give me a hug. Oh. Period.
No drama.
Just a little drama.
Just
We're
a
both
little.
dramatic.
Yeah. Oh fuck. y'all have no idea. Every time, I don't know. Janelle will say some things like, "Baby, I have the hottest tea that you have ever sipped in your entire life."
And then it won't be too
And then it'll be like, "Oh yeah, I did a photo shoot with my girlfriends last night," and I'll be like, "Oh, that's cool." But like, it's the hottest tea I'll ever have in my entire life. Like, girl.
Oh, well, I hope you guys have a really great rest of your week. I'm sure you'll hear from Marcos again later on in the season, if not for season 2.
I'm sure so too.
I'm sure. We love to have tea and we love cake. And remember, guys, you can have your cake and you can eat it too.